Hi there, it's Tish with Star Love Healing. I am here to do the North Node in Gemini collective energy reading. So that would mean that your North Node is in Gemini. I do North Node. Sorry, I do North Node readings because your North Node is your destiny. It's your purpose of why you're even here. Um, and so I feel like that's the best way to utilize divination of tarot is to know why you're here, what is your next step on your journey for that purpose. So I have pulled some. Oh, if you're new, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you again so much for coming back. I am so excited to do your reading. So I've already pulled some oracles because I wanted to kind of like just move the reading up, in time. And we got the crown chakra. So this energy, right? And then we got physical health. Oh, oh my God. Physical health. And we got grounding. So it's vitality, strength, body image, balance, nature, presence, practicality, and stability. So I will say this is kind of interesting because your crown chakra isn't usually labeled as your most stabilizing chakra, right? It's the one that kind of links you to the universe and everything but earthly energy, right? Um, but I will say the greatest thing you can do when you're meditating and you're really like working on your chakras, it's a process. At least from my experience, that was the way how I had to do it, was just kind of work on every individual chakra until they all were very strong and I knew what that energy was. And then once that happened, when I started being able to meditate all my chakras, it was you feel them all at one time. And you're able to be like tapping into that, you're like pulling in that crown universal energy, moving it through your body, and then grounding it into the earth. That is the greatest thing any of us human beings can do for the growth of this planet and connection to divine. So I feel like that was the first message I got from this big time, is you're really tapping into your higher self and things that are way beyond you and grounding it. So you have a really big deal right now. You have a big purpose right now. So, but I also got this feeling of like, I feel like I can't get away from the fact of this physical health. It really does feel like you are in a place where some of you might be actually doing your physical health, like needing to work on that. But it's even bigger than that. It's like your belief in yourself, how you view yourself is just as important as to what food and drink you put in your body. And physical health, physical fitness, like working and doing something, pushing, lifting weights, cardio. Yes, that's extremely, I think, key in this, because that's just a good way of getting rid of stress. But I also, like I said in the very beginning, I feel like this is something far beyond just the physicalness, although it says it. This is more of like a mindset of what you feel about yourself. And if that is pumping weights, then do it. Whatever that makes you feel confident and self control of like how you have your self esteem and view yourself. I think it's a big deal right now. Um, it's going to make you feel stable and balanced. So I feel like this is just a really key time for you to find what makes you feel balanced and stable. I felt like I just needed to say that in a different way, even though it's the same exact thing. And then we've got, this came out first, letting go, time for release. And that happens when you're doing physical fitness. You're releasing endorphins. You're releasing stress. You're releasing pent up energy inside of you. And then conquering fear. It says start today. So, I can't help but think those two things really go hand in hand. There could very well be some fears that you have that you're really needing to just let go of. And I feel like, again, it's something regarding your self-esteem. I can't help it. It's just overwhelming energy right now that it's regarding something like that. And listen, every one of us goes through this, okay? All right, this is going to be tarot now. What does North Node Gemini most need to know to help them on this message and journey? Okay, guess we'll take these. We got Queen of Cups and Ten of Discs. Intuition and establishment. Okay, intuition is one of these. It has some of this. Not only your third eye, but also your crown chakra. How are you going to know anything unless you're not like receiving something? Okay, and then, so that's the Queen of Cups, excuse me. And then Ten of Discs. So we have water and earth energy here. So this is kind of grounding your emotions, right? But it's also Queen energy, so it's a self-understanding. Like Queen energy is always, you're doing it internally, and then it shines out to others, right? And then King energy is, you've already mastered it doing on the inside, and now you're implementing it and helping others with your manly, woman or man, doesn't matter, your masculine doing, right? So King energy is like helping others. Queen is helping yourself. So I really feel like you're tapping into what makes you happy, what makes you feel loved, what makes you satisfied. And Ten of Discs is also stable. I mean, it's a 10 energy, so it's completion. It's the peak before you start back all over again. But it's seeing something that actually is materialized in the real world. I mean, it's like one of the best cards ever. You can't have the Ten of Cups unless you've already reached that was a Freudian slip up. You cannot reach 10 of Pentacles without reaching 10 of Cups first. And that would be emotional vulnerability and exchange between you and others. Seeing how emotionally you can benefit others. Therefore, it fuels you. We have Eight of Wands on the bottom. Movement, fast movement. Oh, I just heard quick response. Like, maybe there's something here where like, yeah, you know how to be a good person. But can you be a good person when it counts? And can you be a good person to everyone, including yourself? There's something about that. Okay. And we got Three of Swords, which is sorrow, and the Lovers. Oh. Okay. Those two cards together aren't always a beautiful mix because that kind of means there's been some heartbreak within a very deep, loving connection that you've had. And I don't know why I said had in the past tense, but I did. But, okay. Okay. This does definitely have kind of taken a turn as far as energetically feeling. Kind of feels like you're really needing, your task right now is kind of getting over the fears of what might have happened between someone and you, whether you did something or they did something or both. But there is something that really, really, really went bad, and I think you're in this place where you're having to rise above it and believe that you still deserve love, and that I heard you still can give good love. It's not like you're going to do this to everyone. Whatever this was, I feel like for those of you that this resonates, that you kind of have guilt or shame that you may have hurt somebody pretty bad. You need to, and I love it because I think that it's accomplishable. You're going to do it. But you're going to have to really like believe that you're not going to be this way always. This is just a lesson, and you're going to have to like own up to it and acknowledge that that was pretty crap. And if that's not you and you're on the other side of that coin and someone did this to you, then you're really going to have to like sink into your core of your self-esteem that it wasn't because of a reason that you embody. Like, it wasn't your fault. It was just them being human. It wasn't because of your body. It wasn't because of something you said. It wasn't because you're not lovable. That is not at all what the case was. If anyone does hurt you, that's on them. Solely. I mean, granted, it takes two to tango, yes. But sometimes when you're the second person in the tango, you're just being vulnerable and open and loving, and then you got spun the heck off the dance floor because that person could care less. That doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Yeah, you were in the mix, but you were being your authentic self. And if they can't appreciate that, then find a new dance partner. You know? That doesn't mean you just never want to dance again. I feel like that is truly what here is like what we're going through right now. Geminis are very mutable energy. They're very hard. And I mean, maybe they're absolutely amazing humans. I love Geminis. I have so many Geminis in my life. But as a Pisces and a Cancer rising, Pisces males are not my, they're not my person. So, and mainly because they're just iffy. They're in and out. One day you have their attention and the next day you don't. And so, and that's beautiful if you're not having to depend on them. So, why I'm bringing this up is if your North Node is in Gemini, you gotta have some flexibility there, man. You gotta have some fluidness. You gotta be like letting go of what you don't want at that moment, and then embracing something brand new, letting that go. And it's a pendulum. And I feel like sometimes as a North Node Gemini, learning that energy, and if let's say you're an earth sign, sun, moon, or heavy earth in your birth chart, a North Node Gemini could probably feel very like not like you. but you're going to have to start learning how to be that way. And so it's almost like you're kind of feeling like this in and out energy, which is only really supposed to teach you like flow energy. But I think that maybe this situation kind of, how am I saying this? It's got you maybe feeling like a Gemini, or someone thinks that you are definitely in and out, and that doesn't feel good to you, right? Man, I don't know what they're trying to tell me with this message. Like, I understand it in my mind, and I don't see it as a bad thing one bit, but I don't know if I can verbally get it out correctly. But it just feels like maybe you don't feel confident in your actions, if this is resonating for you, which these readings are for you. Like maybe like, oh man, why did I do that? I don't really like that about me, that I just did this to this person. And then you question, well, am I going to do this again? And then that causes self-doubt, and it makes you not really feel like your emotions can be trusted. But I think the whole point of this situation to have happened is for you to feel in that flow of Gemini energy, and also overcome the shame and fear that you don't. I hope that makes sense. I really don't know what more I'm supposed to say, and yet I feel it. We got the head of the pack and child. Leading, finishing first, dominate. Okay, was there any kind of bit about this that was this situation where this Three of Swords happened? Was it because someone needed to feel like in control over someone? Because this is all about, being successful, competition, and then child, meaning like someone is an authoritative over someone else, thinking they were, innocent. Kind of like, oh, you're just a child. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something regarding that. But I also am going, and then on the bottom of the deck, we have a ring. So on the flip side, it does kind of feel like maybe you're going to have to take the reins and go forward even when you don't know what you're going to do, because you are in a child mindset of not knowing what to do. You're learning, but you still got to move forward even when you're not, when you're learning something. And being tender, because that would be the Queen of Cups, being tender with where you're going. And then we have the Empress. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, maybe for some of you guys, this is, look at how beautiful the Empress is. Venus energy too, so very much heart space, love space, right? The goddess, or God, Empress energy, goddess energy is not having fear. There's zero room for fear. You might be worried, but you just know you're going forward. I don't know. This reading's getting a little weird, so I'm sorry about that, but I feel like there's a lot of energy coming and I can't process it fast enough for you to be on this video hearing it. But it does kind of also feel like maybe there's someone who's really dying to have a new start, move forward with a new beginning with someone who's an absolute beautiful soul. But I also believe this is you really seeing that about yourself. you are going to be walking. Oh, darn it. Sorry, guys. My computer did that, and I apologize. You just got to believe that you are worthy of this, and you have the capability of loving and being loved. Okay. That was all over the place, but I did feel like it. Some of you, you're on this side. Some of you, you're dealing with this. Parts of it, you know? Well, sorry if this didn't make any sense. But overall, I really feel like this is a beautiful, beautiful time for you to really see yourself as beautiful. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really, truly appreciate it. And I hope till I see you next time. Take care.